All right. So, hello, Christina, Scarlett, Katie, Kelly, Melissa, and Nancy. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm super excited for tonight's training. I am going to be talking about how to have $1,000 weeks. Who wants to have
Exceed.
$1,000 weeks? Like every week. Yeah, not just one week, not where it's like, oh, I had $1,000 week, it's the best thing ever. No, more like I had $1,000 week, that's my baseline. Too bad it wasn't 2,000, right? That's what we doing. Yeah? Who is super excited to have $1,000 weeks consistently? Consistently, yes. Me too. Let me make my Zoom screen a little my Zoom screen a little bigger because I can only see myself and that's kind of boring. All right. So I know we talk a lot about money, y'all. Money, 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 money. Look at all that money. But most of us are here to make money, or at least would like to while we're hanging out, right? So I'm just gonna share a little bit about how to have $1,000 weeks consistently. And I did have I mean, it was over $1,500 last week. And I'm going to tell you what happened. It wasn't magic. It was not magic at all. It was a handful of focused actions repeated consistently. I know consistency isn't a super fun word, but tonight you're going to walk away with an actual plan for $1,000 per week that you can use immediately. Yay! Okay, so first we're going to talk a little bit about math. Another fun subject, right? Does anyone like math? I don't mind math. I don't hate it. It's not, I was never bad at math, but these numbers are easy. Don't worry. So the average party in Mary Kay right now, and we kind of have been, this is like in our unit. Um, this is our findings. Our investigating got us to this number right now. The average party is about $400 in sales. Most parties, like actual parties, they are pretty decent, right? And even double facials we've been finding have been so one of my double facials on Saturday was like $750. So my sales actually were probably higher than 1,500. I do have all my numbers written down, but from the parties alone, I think it was about 1,300. But I also sold a repair set. I sold some other a reorder that was like 200. Okay, so it might have been closer to $2,000 actually. But oh yeah. Okay. All right. We're just gonna stick to 1,500 because that's what I already said, but it was actually a lot more than that. So the average party is about $400 right now. So that means 3 parties a week would be about $1,200 in sales. Okay. So what we're doing in addition to those parties are going to be things like reorders and upselling our reorders, like using the 50% off flyer, things like that. So I want you to put in the chat, how many parties have you held this month so far? And this is meant to be eye-opening. It doesn't mean that if you're number 0, you get to stay silent. We're not staying silent today. So how many parties have you held so far in the month of May? Oh my gosh, where is... There's something missing from my bag that I need. Hmm. God, I have so much stuff around my... Oh, here it is. Hold on one second. Okay. So how many parties and what's a party? A party is a hostess with at least two guests. So it's at least three people sitting around a table trying products in a mirror with a tray. How many parties have you actually held this month? Okay, so we have 1, 0, 3. Yay, Nancy. 0. It's okay. You don't have to frowny face. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to work on it. So how much money did those parties that you've held bring in? So how much money did your parties bring in? So if you did them now, some of this some of this is going to take you a second. It's fine. So like even if you're just kind of guesstimating, like if you've held some parties and you're like, okay, I think that one was about $500, I think that one was about whatever, about how much money did those parties bring in? Okay. No money yet. Yet. Okay, $700. That's exciting. One party, $700. All right, $460. Awesome. So I want you to, for now, this is going to be really hard if you're not really holding a lot of parties. And I mean, like, you need at least 10 parties to figure this out. So if you haven't even held 10 parties in your business ever, it's going to be hard for you to figure out this number. But I want you to kind of get an idea of what your average party is. So what is your average party? So if you've held 10 parties and you sold, let's just say $1,000, then your average party right now is about $100. That means there's still some skill. You know, you're growing. As you grow your skill, your average will be a lot higher. Trust me. And the more parties you hold, the more you're going to learn, the more you're going to um, build that courage too, to be able to do things like individual closes and things like that. So it does get better, but what is your average party right now? So let's look at your past 10 parties and think about how much you've sold, about how much you've sold at those parties, and what is your average party that you're looking at right now, would you say? And put it in the chat. And it might be a guesstimate, like what you're looking at your average party being right now, but what would you say? So your average party right now is about 350. So that's very close to what we're seeing. Average, okay, 230. All right. So then if you know about what your average is, how much would you sell on average if you held 3 parties a week? So what would you be selling if you were holding about 3 parties a week? $10.50. That's exciting. That's your $1,000 week right there. Okay. 5 to 600. Yes, absolutely. That is way above star level. That's you being a high star every quarter. So that's exciting. Okay, so here are 3 daily money-making moves that you can do each day. Each day, just really like focusing on each of these things. So, number 1 is booking. Book the parties. Book the parties. So, if you're not using scripts to book parties, you're definitely robbing yourself of opportunities that you could have otherwise. And I know scripts sometimes seem cheesy and we're like, oh, I don't want to use a script. It doesn't sound like me. But trust me, they work. And I use scripts even on people that I've known for like 10 years because they work. So scripts work. And one thing that we were talking a little bit about on the prayer Zoom is if you haven't already taken my challenge to invite 5 people to the party that we're doing in about 30 minutes on Zoom, I challenge you right now, pull out your phone. I know normally we shouldn't be like multitasking, but pull out your phone and I want you to text 5 people individually and say, hey, I am doing, or you can say, we're doing a Zoom at 8:30, or you can say, we're doing a Zoom in about 30 minutes and I'd love to have you on as my guest. We're giving away over $100 in free products. Are you available? It can be so simple, like so incredibly simple. Put in the chat when you've sent that out to 5 people. Hey, name, we are doing a quick Zoom in about 30 minutes.
Is it this number for the Zoom?
No, it is not. Um, we are where we will be giving away over $100 in free MK products. Are you available to be my guest? No, this is the Everheart. This is just I just typed this out really quickly. It's the same. It's a Everheart party that they do every Tuesday night. So it's not my Zoom. I'm just hosting this one. It's Ruth's Zoom. So there's a flyer. It is on the Everheart Facebook page, but I will really quickly grab the link because I already sent it to my guests for tonight. And hold on. And I do want to also encourage and challenge you to have this stuff on your calendar in advance so that it's not always last minute and you're not always scrambling to figure out the link and see. Now, this Zoom tonight, I created the link today because we've been having issues streaming to YouTube when we do the same link over and over, but I'm going to fix that problem coming up so y'all can save the links for things. We'll have the same Crown the Caddy link each week. We'll have the same new consultant training link each week, and we'll have the same diving deeper Zoom each week, but there'll be different links. So, but you'll be able to save them, bookmark them, put them in your calendar. So, okay. So that what I put in the chat is the Zoom link, and we have to finish this a few minutes early because I have to be able to get off of here and log in as her and then start the party. But I'm going to be sharing lots of products. You're probably going to learn a lot. So even if you don't have guests on, you're going to learn about some products that you might not know about right now. So get on either way, and it'll just be 30 minutes and hear about the products that we'll be sharing then. So I'll be sharing, it's tanned and toned, but grab this link or grab this. Don't send the link out. Send the invite first. And those who say yes, that's who you send the link to. So has anybody already sent their 5 out? Put it in the chat. This is going to be a very interactive training. So, so send it out. And then while you do that, I shall finish telling you about the 3 things that you can do daily, or that you can focus on daily to move that needle towards those $1,000 weeks consistently. So one is booking the parties. And earlier today, I was thinking, man, I didn't get to my booking calls this week. But then I realized I sent this text or very similar text to what I just shared with y'all to over 100 people today. And I wrote down my people who said yes. So make sure in the spiral notebook, nothing fancy. This is my monthly spiral notebook. I wrote down who said yes, and out of about 100 invites, or probably about 120, I got I got some that said I'm not available. So some people just said I can't tonight or whatever. But five people, well, three people said yes, two people said maybe out of like 100 invites. So again, it's a numbers thing. But I did book today. I got 5 new bookings. So it's just that they're booked into the Zoom party, but we're going to be sharing products. And the products that I'm sharing, the total retail value is close to $300. So I'll be sharing individually, like here's the prices. And then I'll also be sharing if you want to take advantage of the entire bundle, you can get it for this deal, and it's a small discount for them. I mean, it's a significant discount, but if they want to get everything. So we're going to be sharing the products, and we're going to give over $100 in products away, so that'll be super exciting. But get them on the Zoom. Get some people, get some guests on the Zoom. So the next thing is holding the parties. So holding parties. So you want your parties to be quick and fun, but not rushed. I'm just going to add that disclaimer. You want it to be fast and fun, but not rushed. So read the room. Sometimes it might need to be a little more rushed than others. But read the room, read the people, kind of get a feel and see like who's there, how they're acting, and most parties, actual parties that have like 3, 4, 5, 6 people, they're gonna have some like weird people in them, right? So at a party, one of my Saturday parties, there was 6 people there, and one of them was just like, she was nice, but she was like, meh, like, you know. And that's normal. It's okay. Use your flip chart. I don't care if you have the whole thing memorized, use your flip chart. When you use your flip chart, you will leave with sales, bookings, referrals, and share calls. And there will still be some $0 parties, but those parties you're still leaving with referrals, hostesses, and share calls when you're using your flip chart. So it is very important to be duplicatable, especially if you want to move up the career path. So if you're not using your flip chart, you're making it look like you have to memorize over an hour's worth of words. That's a lot. I use my flip chart at every facial, every double facial, every party. I don't care how many people I'm in front of, I use my flip chart. So the third thing is follow up. Follow up is so important. So my follow-up is now for customers, people that bought, it will be 7 days, 2 weeks, 3 months. 7 days, 2 weeks, 3 months. So 7 days, I'm checking on them, seeing, how they're liking their product, how's their skin feeling. It depends on the product. If it's an eyeshadow, I'm not asking them, how's your skin feeling? I'm like, hey, have you been using your eyeshadow? What do you think? How are you liking the shade? Do you have any questions? 2 weeks is I'm asking for that testimonial that they're going to send me about why they love whatever product they share about. Like, why do they love it? What do they love about it and why? And that's to be used on social media. And then 3 months is like a follow-up reminder. And I will probably say something like, hey, I have some 50% off specials this month. Do you want to see them? And I want to start a conversation with them. Like, you might be running a little bit low on some of your stuff at this point. If you reorder now, I'll do this. And you might offer an incentive. It's not a discount. I'm not like, if you reorder now, I'm going to give you 10% off. It's like, um, you might be running low. I know you had such and such on your wish list. So if you reorder your miracle set, I'll give you those eye patches half off. Or, like this is where it's good to have your stuff in InTouch. And we did a whole training on entering customers into InTouch and follow up and reorders and all that. So if you missed it, you might have to go back and watch that one. But you should have in InTouch their wish list, their the shades that they tried, the things that they bought, and if there's things on their wish list that they didn't buy, you're able to say like, hey, I know you really like that mascara, blah, 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 whatever. And you can use that as you follow up with them. So when you offer an incentive, you try to make it not a discount on what they're going to buy already, but more like an upsell or like, a addition, like you can, if you get this, you can get this for half off. Or does that make sense? Is this making sense? Okay, perfect. So follow up, follow up, follow up. And y'all, these are texts for me. I'm not calling them for all this. Now, if I don't hear from them, I might call them. And there are some customers that I need to call because maybe I have their home number. Maybe they're much older and they just respond better to phone calls than text. So it just depends on the person, but typically these are texts. So you can save this as a text shortcut, just like we save our T1, T2, T3, our follow up and all that. So save them as shortcuts so that you can use them over and over. So all right, so now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to repeat. You're going to repeat this over and over and over and over. So this is going to be where you build rhythm, you build momentum, and you really see the compounding effect. And I want you to track your parties. Like, how many parties are you booking? How many parties that you're booking are holding? So are about half of what you're booking holding? How many people are you sharing with at these parties? Are you sharing with everyone and then, setting up those share calls, which maybe about half of those hold too? One good way to track some of this is the bubble sheet. So the bubble sheet is like, how many new leads have I called? And of those new leads, how many have booked? And then what I do sometimes is go back and look at, okay, so now that all of the appointments that are on this bubble sheet have passed, how many of them actually held? Appointments as in parties or facials. So this is really helpful for me knowing at the beginning of the month when I set my goals, what I even need to do to reach those goals. So for example, this is a completely filled out bubble sheet. So this is 48 calls, 48 attempts, or they're phone calls to new people. I don't put follow-ups on my bubble sheet. I'm not going to put one person 5 times because we do follow up several times. I'm just going to put them on one. So of the 48, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 booked. So 9 out of 48. So that tells me how many calls I need to make on average to get a booking, right? So if I do 48 divided by 9, that's going to be about every 5-ish calls, I'll get a booking. And then out of those 9, how many held? Out of those 9, 7 held, or out of those 9, 7 did not hold. Out of those 9, 4 held.
What you want for dinner?
Maybe more.
You
Let me go
can't
back
eat
and
more.
look.
I got
Savannah, Samantha.
nowhere.
At least 4 of them held. So that's about half. So that's about right. So that helps me to evaluate what I need to do. Hold on a second, sorry. Okay, so sorry. Okay. So know your numbers and track. So this is telling me how to get to what I want, is how to get to the parties, how to get the number of parties I want on my date book and how many I want to hold on my date book. And then this is how am I tracking the results? So how many faces did I see? How many share calls did I do from those faces? And, sometimes the share calls are from other sources, but typically the share calls are going to be from the faces. And then what is my retail and wholesale looking like? So if I have like 100 faces over here, but I've only held 5 share calls, something's going on. So it kind of helps you to figure out what needs to be addressed. And it helps me help you too. Because if you reach out to me and you're like, I'm frustrated, I don't know what to do, I don't know why, I'm not getting the results, then I'm going to start asking questions like, well, how many parties have you booked? How many share calls have you done? And if I know that you and I haven't done any share calls, then that's going to be the first place to start, because that's how you learn how to do share calls, is by holding share calls with your director. Doesn't mean that I can always do your share calls, because that's definitely not the case, but um, a bulk of them I should and could do, if that makes sense. So we like rinse and repeat. We just keep doing the same things over and over until we see success happen. So push stands for persist until success happens. And this is very simple. We book, we focus on the parties holding by coaching them, we do the parties, and then we follow up. That's basically what the majority of our time working our business should be doing. We should be working with people. So if the bulk of your time working your business has nothing to do with people, then you're not doing income producing activities. So what I mean by that is, if the bulk of your time working your business is just spent organizing your party bag, filling your roll-up bags, cleaning your mirrors, printing your party supplies, but you never actually hold a party, then you're not making any money. So if you only have an hour today to work your business, it must be spent on people stuff, as in making phone calls, coaching the bookings you already have, or following up with the people that you last had at parties, or customers, current customers. So it's people stuff. If what you're doing has to do with people, it's an income producing activity. For example, lead generating, holding share calls, being at a facial or a party, booking parties. Those are income producing activities, coaching your parties, things like that. So I have a challenge for you. And like I said, we're wrapping this one up early because I am going to be hopping on Ruth's Zoom that I shared the link for. So I have to set it up and, get ready, and we got to do roll call and stuff like that. So your challenge for this week, if you do this work this week, you could have $1,000 week, and it's going to take us as a unit having $1,000 weeks individually for these goals to happen, you guys, for real. So I challenge you to book 3 parties, do 10 follow-ups. So these follow-ups could be anything from customers that have ordered from you, even if it's been a while. Maybe they haven't heard from you in a while. It's okay. Follow up, 10 follow-ups. Um, it could be that you're following up with bookings that you already have. It could be that you book those parties and then follow up, because really, if you book 3 parties tomorrow and then the next day you're starting to follow up, well, those are follow-ups. So you're going to book 3 parties, do 10 follow-ups, and invite 5 people to this Thursday's sharing Zoom. So we have every single week, there is an Everheart sharing Zoom Thursday at 8 p.m. So I just challenge you to invite 5 people to this Thursday's share Zoom. So if you're in, drop it in the chat that you're in. I think literally everybody has their camera off, so I feel like I'm talking to myself. So definitely use the chat. Put it in the chat like I'm in or something. Put an emoji, do something that you're in for this challenge. And I'm just going to quickly recap what we have talked about, and then I would love for you to tell me which part of what we talked about tonight are you going to take action on immediately, like right away. And I know a lot of you were texting invites for the party that we're about to do, so that was an immediate action, and that's super exciting. What are you in for? Your challenge is to book 3 parties this week, do 10 follow-ups of any sort, whether it's coaching bookings or following up with customers or following up with people that you've shared with. It's just 10 follow-ups, and then inviting 5 people to Thursday's sharing Zoom. So we talked about our math of the average party being about $400, figuring out about what our personal average parties are looking like right about now. We talked about the 3 daily moves that will help you get to these $1,000 weeks consistently, which include booking parties, holding parties, and following up. It's so simple, y'all. I promise. It's so simple. Which of those 3 do you feel like you're most consistent at, and which do you feel like might need a little work? So we have booking parties, holding parties, and following up. Which of those are you best at, and which do you kind of feel like you need to work at? So for me, I am consistent at booking parties and holding parties. The follow-up, I do need to work on. I am great at the share call. Like I am like laser focused on these share calls. I book them, I follow up with them. Sometimes people do fall through the cracks though, y'all. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, I can't do the call today. Can you call me tomorrow?" And I forget to put it on my digital calendar where it'll remind me. If that's happened to you, go back and just say, "I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, life happened. I know I was supposed to call and get your feedback on that video. I am super excited to still get you into the giveaway. Are you free tomorrow at 5?" Or like give an exact time. So, so that's your challenge. That's your recap.